Good morning, YouTube. It's Iron Will with Big Will's Corner. I figured I'd make a video this morning. It's Monday morning, the day after the weekend ended. Everybody's back to work. So I figured I'd make a video that kind of addresses some safety issues that, as a general motorist, you might run into out on the roads if you have to interact with big trucks. Some of the things that, in my opinion, should be covered in driver's ed, but they're not necessarily covered. And a lot of people at this point in their driving career, as a general motorist, they can sometimes overlook some of these things. So I thought I'd go over a few, just a real short list of things that I think would help us, as far as commercial drivers and you as a general motorist out on the road, that could basically help us all be safer. One thing you want to remember is that trucks are, we have blind spots all around every side of a truck, from the front to the end of it. There are certain areas that are technically blind spots where we don't have visual sight from the driver's seat, to make to make sure that we're completely clear. I mean, for the most part, with all the convex mirrors that are on trucks nowadays, you can pretty much kind of be sure that you're good. But just depending on the circumstances, depending on the level of experience of the driver, depending on a lot of different factors, just remember that a truck has several blind spots, and just think of it that way instead of thinking that they see me all the time. And one of the things you can try to do when you're passing a truck is remember to always pass in that passing lane. Never pass on the right. It's a general thing that a lot of people get impatient out on the road. You got a truck doing 55 miles an hour in front of you, and he's out in the hammer lane, and hammer lane would be the fast lane, and you want to get around him, and so you zoom out to the right. That's probably the worst thing anybody could ever do, because all it takes is for that one either inexperienced driver or someone who's just not paying the proper amount of attention, to just start coming over as you're mashing on your accelerator trying to get around them, and that could just be a whole mess. Most of the time you're going to see this type of action from a truck driver in an inner city street. So if a truck is trying to, if let's just say you're in a downtown area of a city, so you have to realize we have 72 feet of equipment from the nose of most trucks to the end of our 53-foot trailer. That's a 73-foot length span, right? And so, unlike a car can just make a right turn from a right lane onto any street with no problem, okay? A truck, we have to deliberately move to the left a lot of times, depending, like I said, on how tight the road is, what city you're in, how the road's constructed, all that stuff, all those factors play into it. But most of the time a truck is going to have to move to the left a little bit so that he can make that right. You'll see if he's doing his job right, he'll have his blinker on before he moves to the left. He'll have his right turn blinker on before he moves to the left. But that's all deliberately so that he can clear that curb and that light pole or whatever's on the corner, the people standing there. The worst thing that anybody can do is pass a truck driver on the right when he deliberately gets over. That's not an open invitation for you to come and pass us on the right. So that would just help everybody involved to avoid, catastrophe. You don't want that. So, trucks are, they're commercial vehicles, first of all. And most of the trucks out on the road are owned by bigger outfits, big companies that they govern their trucks super slow. And when you see a truck out on the road, usually that truck can't go any faster than, if you're lucky, you might be going 68 miles an hour, depending on the company you're working for. But a lot of the bigger companies are keeping it under 70. So you're looking at 60. You're somewhere out west, El Paso, Texas area, and the speed limit's 80 miles an hour. That can be very difficult to deal with if you got two trucks side by side going down I-10 toward El Paso, and one truck's going 56 miles an hour, and the other one's barely getting past them doing 61, or whatever the situation is. It just requires us to be mindful of the fact that truck drivers are here. They're doing a job just like anyone else, and their job has restrictions just like anyone else's jobs. I mean, just because you're not in your office while you're passing that truck doesn't mean that he's not sitting in his office right now doing his job the way you're trying to get to wherever you need to go. So it requires patience. These trucks are out here. They're trying their best to keep things rolling for our economy here in this great nation, and just basically keep things where it needs to be as far as keeping freight and supplies, and one part of the country that needs to come from California to Florida, or Florida to New York, or Miami to Seattle, wherever that freight's taking you. A truck driver is trying his best. He or her is trying their best to get it done. The other thing, just use common courtesy with trucks. Basically, if you're around a truck and your intention is to get up in front of them, and so you can exit and get off onto that exit ramp there, just use some basic common courtesy and just put your blinker on. Let them know what you intend on doing. That just makes our understanding of what we need to do a lot clearer. It makes it easier for us to make a decision based on what we know you're intending on doing. So, when you're around trucks, try not to be so frustrated. I mean, I know truck drivers have a bad stigma for whatever reason in this country, and there are some bad apples in the bunch, but that's like that with anything. But for the most part, truckers are out here just trying to earn a living, do a job, and get home to their families like anyone else. So these are just basic things that I thought I'd make a video about that could help on both sides of the coin, not just the driver, not just the commercial vehicle driver, but also the general public, and everybody staying safe, and just realize that the more you apply these type of things to your interaction with trucks, the safer you'll be. Trucks are they're substantially bigger and heavier pieces of equipment than your general basic four-wheeler. So be mindful of that, and just know that you're keeping yourself, your family, and everyone else on the roads safe if everyone can just get on board with applying some basic rules of etiquette and courtesy out on the roads. So yeah, this is Iron Will with Big Will's Corner, and I'd love it if you guys subscribe to the channel, like this video, make sure you turn on that notification button on the video, and yeah, we'll post some more videos topic. Thanks.